Hey, my workplace warriors, have you ever felt like your job search is all over the place? Like one day you're updating your resume, the next day you're second guessing what jobs you should even apply for. Then suddenly an interview pops up and you're scrambling. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, rejection or silence starts to messing with your confidence. If that sounds familiar, unfortunately, you're not alone. A lot of job seekers are not failing because they're lazy. They're not failing because they're not smart. They're not even failing because they don't want it badly enough. A lot of them are struggling because they do not have a system. And that is exactly why I created the HRBN Career Search RX All Access Suite. Today, I want to walk you through what it is, who it's for, why I created it, and how it can help you stop piecing your job search together and start moving with more clarity, strategy, and confidence. And I'm also going to show you a quick example of how one part of the suite works so you can see the kind of support it gives you in real time. So let's get into it. Now, let's be honest. Job searching can be exhausting. It can feel like a full time job on top of the full time job that you may already have, or on top of the stress of not having one. You may be wondering, am I targeting the right roles? Is my resume the problem? Should I be changing my LinkedIn profile? Why am I applying and not hearing anything back? Why do I freeze up in interviews? Am I underqualified? Or am I just not positioning myself well? Or should I take this offer, negotiate it, or walk away? That's a lot for one person to figure out alone. And what I've seen over and over is that seekers often buy one resource for one part of the process, but still feel stuck because the whole search is disconnected. They have a resume tool, but no strategy. They have interview tips, but no clear target. They have motivation for one day, but no system to stay consistent. They get an offer, but don't know how to evaluate it. That kind of pieced together approach is exactly what I wanted to solve. So, the HRBN Career Search RX All Access Suite is my answer to that problem. This is not just a random bundle of tools. It is a one stop AI powered job search system designed to support job seekers at multiple stages of the process. So instead of trying to figure everything out from scratch every time you hit a problem, you have a connected support system to help you move through your search more strategically. Inside the suite, there are specialized custom GPTs that help with things like career clarity, resume optimization, cover letters, job posting and fit analysis, profile and professional branding, interview preparation, job search organization and tracking, rejection, resilience, and mindset, offer, salary, and onboarding strategy, career transitions, public to private pivots, and breaking into HR. So, really, this suite was built for the person who is tired of guessing their way through the process. It was built for the person who wants structure. It was built for the person who knows they need more than random advice from the internet. So, who is it for? This suite is especially helpful if you are someone who knows you need a better job, but your search feels messy, or you've been applying and hearing little to nothing back. Or you're trying to pivot into a new field and you're not sure how to tell the story. Or you're moving from public to private sector and you know the language and positioning have to change. Or you've been getting interviews, but you're not converting them, or you're just tired. Tired of rejection, tired of inconsistency, tired of starting over every week. If that is where you are, this suite is built just with you in mind. So, why did I create it? Well, I created it because too many job seekers are trying to solve a systems problem with effort alone. And don't get me wrong, effort matters, consistency matters, and preparation matters. But let's tell the truth. Effort without strategy will wear you out. You can work very hard and still waste time applying to the wrong roles. You can be highly qualified and still undersell yourself on paper. You can be talented and still struggle in interviews because your stories are not well prepared. You can finally get an offer and still feel unsure about what to do next. So I wanted to create something that helps job seekers make smarter decisions all along the way, not just at one stage, but across the entire process. One of the most important things I want you to understand is that the HRBN Career Search RX All Access Suite is not meant to be used all at once. That would be overwhelming, and honestly, that would be unnecessary. The suite works best when you use it like a system. For example, if you don't know what direction to go in, you would start with career clarity. If you know what you want, but your resume is weak, you would start there. If you're applying but not getting traction, you'd use the fit analysis and positioning tools. If you're getting interviews, you'd move into interview prep and storytelling. If your search feels chaotic, you'd use the tracker and system tools. If you're at the offer stage, you'd use the offer, salary, and onboarding support. So the point is not to throw everything at you at once. The point is to help you use the right support at the right time. That's what makes this suite different. So let me show you one quick example so you can see what I mean. And I'm only going to show you one part of the suite because I do not want to overwhelm you. I want to show you how the HRBN job posting and fit analyzer within the suite can help someone stop applying blindly and start applying more strategically. Because this right here is one of the biggest mistakes job seekers make. They see a posting and they think, I can probably do that. Then they apply and they hope for the best. But hope is not a strategy. You need to know whether the role is actually a good fit, what the employer seems to care about most, what your likely strengths and gaps are related to the job, and what you need to emphasize before you apply. So let me show you how that works. So I'll be right back with the live demo. One moment. Okay, warriors, I'm back and ready for the on-screen demo. And if you see me looking off to the side, that's because I'm looking at my monitor that you currently see my Chat GPT work canvas as well as a Google Doc, which has the title HR Partner SSD. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to um, take a 2022 version of my chronological resume and this job vacancy announcement from Tesla for an HR partner. And I am going to utilize my fit job posting and fit analyzer within the All Access suite to show you how awesome this tool is and what it can do to boost your job search in ways that you probably could not have imagined. I am blown away that this is something that I helped to create. So let's get to it. Get my the right stuff on my screen. So let's say I have a job posting open right here, and you see I do the HR business partner SSD for Tesla. What I would do is take the posting and put it in my HRBN-Job posting and fit analyzer. And so we're going to do that. I am going to highlight the contents of the job description. I'm going to copy the contents. And then I'm going to, over here in my Chat GPT work canvas, I'm going to pull up the HRBN-Job posting and fit analyzer. And I am going to paste the contents of that job description. And then I am going to create a little bit of space at the bottom. And I'm going to go to my other Google Doc here, which is the 2022 version of my chronological resume. And I'm going to highlight all of the contents. Then I'm going to copy the contents. I'm going to move back over here to where I created the space in Chat GPT. And I'm going to drop the contents of my resume under the contents of the job vacancy announcement, and I'm going to hit go. And as ChatGPT starts working, my custom GPT starts to work, you'll see this sidebar start moving. You're seeing it's moving up a little bit. And right now it's thinking and it's preparing its magic behind the scenes. So I could have told it, in addition to dropping the contents of the vacancy announcement in my resume into the work canvas or the workspace, I could have told it, analyze or asked it to analyze this job posting for fit, identify the most important priorities, tell me where I appear strong, where I may have gaps, and what I should emphasize in my resume and cover letter if I decide to apply. But I didn't even do that. And you see it is working. You see the sidebar here on the screen is constantly moving up. That's because it is working. It is analyzing my resume in comparison to the job posting, and it's going to give me some awesome targeted strategic guidance on one, whether I need to even apply to the job. And of course, it's my decision after all, but this tool helps to take the guesswork out of it. So let's keep looking. You see the sidebar, it is continually is inching up, inching up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to click the down arrow to let you see it just finished working. So what I love here is that it's not just summarizing the posting, it's helping me, the job seeker, to think better. It can pull out the likely must haves, the likely nice to haves for the position, the real priorities hidden in the wording, the keywords that matter, and whether this role is a strong fit, a stretch, or maybe not even worth my energy of applying. And that matters because as a job seeker, we sometimes waste so much time applying to roles that are weak fits, unclear fits, or roles that are not positioning themselves, we're not positioning ourselves correctly for. So instead of applying blindly, this helps me to pause and ask, is this role worth my time? And I get an answer. How should I tailor my materials? And I get an answer. What should I highlight? And I get an answer. What interview themes should I expect if I get traction? And I get an answer. That is the kind of strategic support this suite is designed to give. Not just more information, better decision making. So, and honestly, the before and after here is not just about a document. The before is applying in the dark. The after is applying with insight. That is a big difference. So hold on just a moment. I'm going to transition from the live demo back to the regular video. See you in a moment. So I'm back from the live demo. And as I said, that demo is just one example of what the HRBN Career Search RX All Access Suite can do to transform your job search and take the stress and the guesswork out. And again, like I said, only one part of the suite. The reason why I wanted to show you that is because I want you to see that this is practical. This is not fluff. This is not just motivational language. This is real support that can help job seekers make better decisions, present themselves better, and move through the process with more intention. So, just to give you a bigger picture inside the suite, you have support for different job search points, pain points. If you need help figuring out your direction, there's a tool for that. If your resume is not landing the way it should, there's a tool for that. If you need stronger cover letters, there's a tool for that. If your online profile, including LinkedIn or professional brand, is weak or inconsistent, there's a tool for that. If interviews are your weak spot, there's a tool for that. If your search is disorganized and inconsistent, yes, there's a tool for that. And if rejection has been hitting your confidence, there's a tool for that. And finally, if you have an offer and need to think through the salary amount, negotiation, and the onboarding process, there is also a tool for that. And if you're trying to pivot careers, break into HR, or move from the public sector to the private sector career, there are specialized pathways for that too. That's why I call it All Access Suite. An All Access Suite because it's meant to support the real life complexity of a real job search. So, this is why I think this matters so much right now. A lot of job seekers are staying stuck longer than they need to, not because they lack potential, but because they keep trying to do this process without a clear system. And the longer your job search stays reactive, scattered, and inconsistent, the easier it is to lose momentum. The easier it is to start doubting yourself and becoming discouraged. The easier it is to burn out. So, if you already know your search needs more structure, more strategy, and more support, then this is the time to do something about it. Not from panic, not from desperation, but from a decision to stop doing this the hard way. So, if this sounds like exactly what your job search has been missing, I want to invite you to check out the HRBN Career Search All Access Suite. This is for the job seeker who is ready to stop patching their search together and start using a smarter process. If that is you, go ahead and check the link below and take a look at what's inside. And I'll also link to, I'll create from the advice that my custom GPT gave me regarding whether I should apply for the job or not. I will create it into a Google Doc and I will link it so that you can see the detailed guidance, strategic guidance that it gave to me about whether or not I should apply to that job. So even if you don't start with everything, start at with the part of your job search that is hurting the most right now. Because momentum usually does not begin when everything is perfect. It begins when you finally get the right support for the next step. Thank you so much for being here. And before you go, please remember to do me a big favor, like, share, and subscribe to help me help other job seekers just like you. And come back often for more amazing content on how to improve your job search. So until the next video, career success to you. Go get your new job.